And sir, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Good to be with you. Wish I was there in person, but maybe, maybe in the future, you never know. But good to be in your presence today. I'm coming to you from New Jersey in the United States on the East Coast, where it's mighty cold outside, but it's warm here inside. So we good. I want you all to give me, since there's so many young people, I just want you to give me your undivided attention while I share just a few words with you today, which my hope is that these words will stay with you forever, right? I'm a former teacher, former principal, school principal, and now I spend my time traveling around the United States and different parts of the world, helping teachers, helping principals to become better at what they do. As far as helping children to become great at what they do. So that's what I do. I took what I used to do and turned it into a business. So I'm in business for myself, and all I do is get up in the morning and go somewhere. I'm on a plane all the time and just go different places and work with people, because if children are going to be successful in school, they've got to have the best teachers. They've got to have the best leaders. They've got to have the best counselors. They've got to have the best of everything to increase their chances of being successful in school. So that's the role I play. But in terms of this conference, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that in addition to that, I created this business. I don't work for somebody. I decided that I would create something for myself, and therefore I am the boss of my company. It's a one-person company. I don't have any employees. I don't have any secretaries, anybody. It's just me, and I do this work. So I'm saying that to say this to you. I'm looking at the theme of the conference right now, the symposium, I should say. My voice, my identity, my confidence. Those are three very important concepts. I could probably talk all day on all three. Again, let me say them to you. My voice, my identity, my confidence. I can say to you, young people, if you take those three ideas and you make them a part of you, you take ownership of those three: my voice, my identity, my confidence. I'm telling you, you're going to go very far in life. There's a lot of people out here in the world who have not embraced that. So let me explain what I mean. I know that you've heard, the perspective perhaps from where you are, but let me give it to you from where I sit. Let's look at my voice first. See, you hear my voice right now. And in the world of education, I have developed a powerful voice, a voice where people are going to listen, a voice where people are going to invite me to spread my message, right? And see, like I'm on the call with you this morning, and I wasn't familiar with the symposium, but this is my invitation to come out. I'm just adjusting my camera. This is my invitation to come to you all and share a few words, right? I'm using my voice. See, so I'm saying to you, as you're children right now, you young people, and you're trying to find your way, always know that one of the most powerful assets, one of the most powerful gifts that you have, that you were born with, is your voice. But the question is, how are you using your voice? See, a lot of my understanding and just doing my research of you all, you're learning to use your voice via public speaking, oratory. That's important. I teach that to a whole lot of people. I got videos on YouTube that just teach how to use your voice, right? Well, your voice, it's easy to look at other people and see their possessions, right? Like people have certain material gain. And it's easy to look at somebody else and feel like, man, I wish I had what they have, right? It's easy to have that thought. But oftentimes we'll look at somebody and wish we had what they had, not realizing we do have it. Because our voice opens up doors. So whatever it is that you may want out of life, take a look at yourself first and ask yourself, what are the qualities that I have in order to open doors for myself? And one of those qualities, because I'm not going to get into all the qualities, because we'd be doing that for the next 24 hours, but one of the qualities, one of the most important qualities that you could have is your voice. Right. And I'm not necessarily talking solely about the quality of your voice, but I'm talking about the things you say, the things that come out of your mouth, your voice. But, you know, along with this word voice, in terms of how I'm using it, my voice, there's another way of using that word. The word voice synonymous with the word purpose. So you'll hear people say, for example, I'm still trying to find my voice, right? So now I'm not using it in terms of vocally how you use your voice. I'm saying your voice in this regard is your purpose. So if someone will say, I'm still trying to find my voice. I'm trying to identify my voice. I'm trying to locate my voice. So what they're saying is they're trying to find their purpose in life. So I went through a lot of years searching and searching and searching for my voice, right? I didn't know what my voice was. I couldn't find it, meaning I didn't know what my role was in life. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. See, we live for a short period of time in the context of history. We're born, and then at some point we transition. But the question is, between that time of birth and that time of transition, what are we doing? And see, that's what I mean by finding your voice. I'm an educator. That's what I do. I'm an author. This is my latest book. It hasn't even come out yet. It's called I think he's saying it reverse, but what is my value instructionally to the teachers I supervise? This book comes out on Monday. This is the 14th book that I wrote. I write a lot of books. I've written a ton of articles and a ton of blogs. And then I taught school for 7 years. I led schools for 14 years. And I traveled the country, traveled the US and different parts of the world, educating educators. So everything that I do is consistent with my voice, my purpose, my reason, my because. When you go through life without having found your voice, then life becomes that much more of a challenge. It becomes that much more complicated because you don't really know who it is you are. See, you're born. God gives us gifts and talents and treasures at birth. Our role is to find them. See, they're in us. I don't care what the situation is that we're living under, right? We could be living in some very tough situations or some good or everything in between. But we all have these gifts and we have to find them. We have to identify them. We have to locate them. That's your voice. See, so I'm using voice two ways. Again, on the one hand, your voice in terms of just using what you have. But on the other hand, finding your purpose, your voice. I'm so grateful that back in 1984, 85, I found my voice. I was young. I was 23, 24 years old, but I found my voice and I have been walking in my voice ever since. Here we are, 2024. Right. So 40 years later and still walking in my voice. That matters. Let's go to that second word. I'm talking about these three words that relate to your symposium. My identity. My identity. And I ask the question, who are you? And I want to look at that two ways as well. Who are you? Like I keep a mirror nearby. When I travel and speak, I always have a mirror with me. When I'm home doing virtual presentations, I always have a mirror with me, because the mirror speaks to your self-reflection. And you have got to reflect on you every day toward becoming great. Let me say that again. You've got to reflect upon yourself. In other words, you got to think about you every day toward becoming great. So when I say think about you, let me give you better context. So you going through the course of a day. Before you go to bed at night, you want to think back on the day. You want to reflect upon the day. Like, who was I today? Right? Just reflecting on you without judging you. Right? Just run the video and think about, who was I today? Let me reflect on the quality of an individual that I was today. But then secondly, you want to self-assess. So I said self-reflect the first time, but the second time you want to self-assess. What does that mean? That means this time you want to evaluate you. You want to rate you. You want to judge you. That means that you want to look at your day and ask yourself, what did I do today that I was productive toward achieving my goals, toward achieving my dreams, right? What did I do? See, because it's not enough, excuse me, it's not enough to just dream. It's not enough to just wish. You've got to put forth the work. And as young people in school, that is the work. That you've got to be the best student that you can possibly be. You're capable of achieving in school at the highest levels. So you got to put forth the work. So here, at the end of the day, now you assess it, you evaluate it, you rate it, you judge it. Was I the best me as a student? Was I the best me as a person? That matters. So we talk about your identity. Who are you? Well, you got to constantly reflect upon making sure that you've found you. See, these words really go together: my voice, my identity, my confidence. So after the self-assessment, now you want to make certain adjustments. You got to make certain changes, because you may find that as you assessed you, that there's some things that you needed to do better, some things that you needed to do differently than what you did before. So you want to make sure that you make adjustments going into the next day. Never being the same person every day, but making adjustments toward becoming better and better and better. So the goal is always to be better than you were yesterday, which leads to self-improvement, striving to become a better person, a better student, a better scholar. So let me give you those four again, falling under my identity: self-reflection, self-assessment, self-adjustment, and self-improvement. They matter, right? They matter exponentially, which means they matter greatly. And then that third element of the theme of your symposium is my confidence. That's a big one, y'all. That's a big one. See, people are successful in life for a lot of reasons, but one of those reasons is their confidence. See, when I was trying to become a teacher, I had the confidence that I would be good. And when I became a teacher, I had the confidence that I would be the best version of myself. Well, they named me the teacher of the year for the school I was in. And this was after my 4th year teaching. I was still a baby. They named me the teacher of the year for my school, the teacher of the year for my district, the teacher of the year for my county, and a finalist for New Jersey State Teacher of the Year. That means that the children were learning under my watch. But I had the confidence that they would. I knew it. It's like when you play sports. When you play sports, you can prepare all you want physically, but mentally, you've got to have the confidence that you're going to win the game. If you don't have that confidence that you're going to win the game, you may not win. See, so that confidence matters. So then I became a principal. And as a principal, it was the same thing. You know, I brought that confidence. So we took them schools and led them at a high level because I had the confidence that we could make it happen. Now here I am, a speaker, and I had to build the business. As a speaker, the only way that you make money is people have to hire you to come in and speak and train. I don't mean these virtual presentations. I mean when I'm out somewhere in person. But if you don't have, if people are not calling you and saying, would you come and speak, then you can't eat, because that's how you get paid. So I left my job as a principal, which was paying great money, to build something where I had no money and no clients. But I had the confidence that I could build this business into something big. And it turned out to be a very lucrative decision to leave my principal job in order to be a self-employed entrepreneur. So if there's any young people in the room that don't know what an entrepreneur is simply someone who is in business for themselves. I'm the type of person, I don't want a boss. I never did. I don't want a boss. Some people work well having a boss. I don't. So if you don't work well having a boss, then you better have come up with a plan of what it is that you may do in order to have a business, develop a business for yourself, right? So my voice, my identity, my confidence. Now let me tell you this. I want to go back to this word identity. My name is Baruti Kafele. Now, I wasn't born with that name, but that's my legal name. At the same time that I started to develop my confidence, my voice, and my identity, everything began to happen in 1984. 1984 is my breakthrough year, right? 1984 and 2004 for a different reason. Those are my breakthrough years. And as I had my breakthrough, meaning that that's when my life shifted dramatically. So when I say breakthrough, that's what I mean. My life shifted dramatically. So I decided, I said, man, so when I say shifted dramatically, meaning significant improvement, because I had gone through a rough patch, I decided I want a name that speaks to where I'm headed. Let me repeat that, and I hope I got the attention of everybody. I can't see anybody. All I see is me right now, but I hope I got the attention of everybody, right? I said, I need a name that speaks to where I'm going. So the name I had was just a typical American name that meant absolutely nothing. It had no meaning. I said, I need a name with meaning. So I got myself about 3 or 4 African name books. Because Black people in America, and I'm sure you all know this, but I'll just throw it at you. Black people in America are descendants of Black folks in Africa. We are the ones who were captured beginning in the 1500s to be brought over to America into the Western Hemisphere in the 1500s, the 1600s in terms of the U.S. So we your lost brothers and sisters and cousins and aunts and uncles and all that. So I wanted to have an identity that connected me to the motherland, to Africa. So I got this name book and I found this name Baruti. It comes from the country of Botswana in Southern Africa. So I said, Baruti, and it means teacher. Now, I wasn't a teacher yet. Remember, I said, I want a name that speaks to where I'm going, not where I was, because I wasn't a teacher. I was in college for the first time. So this word Baruti, I started introducing myself to everybody I met as Baruti, even though it wasn't my legal name yet. So for the next 7 years, when I met people, I said, my name is Baruti. So when people said Baruti, they were saying teacher. So in 1991, 7 years later, I wrote my first book, and I decided I want to put my new name on my book cover. So I legally changed it. So that was the first name, Baruti. I went next to the last name, Kafele. Comes from the country of Malawi, more Central Africa. And it means worth dying for, worth dying for. But I decided, I said, since I want to be an educator, let me spin it slightly. And I said, the struggle for the liberation of the minds of our children is worth dying for. Again, the struggle for the liberation of the minds of our children is worth dying for. That means that I am deeply rooted, grounded, planted in this thing called education. It's not a game. It's serious business. And thirdly, I went back to a middle name. I said, what am I going to call myself as a middle name? And I found Kwame, which comes from Ghana. And it means literally born on Saturday, which I was born on Saturday. But I had this hero, Kwame Nkrumah, first president of Ghana, 1957. And I decided that I was going to take on that name. So my identity shifted, and it gave me closer to an African identity as far as my name, as opposed to the name I had before, which was an American name that, a lot of our names are the same names as the former slave masters. So I wanted something that would identify me with the motherland, as we call the continent, Africa. So I think I got Sapphire. What I got, like 5 more minutes?
I think two more minutes.
Okay, because I didn't know if I started on time. So let me close it by giving you these 2 words. Matter of fact, yeah, let me give you these 2 words with these 2 minutes. I always say that I've been saying to children forever, for a very long time, that 2 of the most important words that you could ever articulate, that you could ever express, are the words attitude and the words decision. Your attitude is your state of mind, the way you think, the way you approach life. You want to strive to make sure that you have an attitude that is positive always. But having a positive attitude is not enough. In addition to your attitude being positive, you got to make the right decisions. Because if you have a positive attitude, but make bad decisions, negative decisions, then it will negate the attitude that you think you have, right? So you got to make sure that you maintain a positive attitude, you maintain a level of confidence, you maintain a belief in yourself always. Attitude is your attitude determines your altitude. So your attitude matters, but simultaneously, you got to make good decisions. So if the attitude is positive and you're trying to do things with your life, then the decision might be the work you have to do to bring your dream to fruition, to reality. So your attitude and your decisions, take those 2 words and own them. Attitude, decision. So to close my section of this symposium out, my portion, I just want to say once again, good to wake up early and share a few words with you, be in your midst, be in Lagos virtually for a few minutes. And I hope that everything I said, I hope you're able to retain it, use it, elevate yourselves to another level. And if so, then I will celebrate with you at some point virtually. as you rise to that place that you're trying to get to. So with that said, I want to thank you for the opportunity just to spend a little time with you. Turn it back over to you, Sapphire.